But what if Yoru doesn't think that the aquarium spear is powerful enough to go to war with Chainsaw Man, and she turns Denji into a weapon against Asa's will? What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, clicking that subscribe button is the only way to connect with hot single MILFs in your area. Now, last week I spent pretty much the entire chapter review screaming into the void about how unsafe we should feel about the current circumstances in the manga, and it brings me no pleasure to say that this is one of those times where my spidey senses were kind of locked in. Now, as absolutely f***ed as everything seems in the manga right now, I'm going to give you guys a few reasons as to why Denji still has some semblance of plot armor a little later in this review. That said, this is a story by the same person who made the main character get a burger in the middle of the final showdown in Chainsaw Man Part 1. So expect the unexpected, but in today's chapter review video, we're going to be talking about all the reasons why Denji might be okay, as well as all the other shit that happened in Chapter 117. But first, class is once again in session. I've linked a poll at the top of the description down below where you guys can vote on what grade you think this chapter of Chainsaw Man should get: A, B, C, D, or F. Then at the beginning of next week's chapter review video, we're going to go over the overall chapter GPA as well as some of your guys' comments down below on this video. Speaking of which, let's just quickly look at what you guys thought of chapter 116. So about 350 people voted in last week's chapter review poll. If that was one of you guys, thank you so much for voting. And after crunching the numbers, we get an overall chapter GPA of 3.66. So it's safe to say you guys liked chapter 116. I feel like Fujimoto just doesn't miss at this point. The next chapter GPA poll is already live. There's already 56 votes, so remember to vote on that after you watch this video. But enough of the GPA, let's look at some of your guys' comments. Kami says, when Denji told Asa she reminded him of a friend, that hit. Which is funny, because I was actually talking about this on stream yesterday. There was a post on the Chainsaw Man subreddit, it was also circulating Twitter, where there were examples of Asa resembling each and every one of Denji's love interests throughout the years. I think it was something like Asa acting all haughty and confident after being told she's interesting, which kind of resembled Power. Not that Power was a love interest, but, you know, they were friends. There was something there, maybe, question mark. There was Asa and Denji running around laughing and having fun, which was kind of like his experience with Reize. And then there was Asa telling Denji that she would grant him any wish if he does what she says. That was kind of like Makima. So maybe there's a little more to that than meets the eye. Then Anime Problem says, Nayuta is gonna hit this series like a truck, especially since we know some of her abilities. I'm still kind of on that train that thinks Nayuta had something to do with, Fake Saw Man killing Yuko, whether it actually was Denji or not. Because why were those birds there? We know that the Control Devil can do shit with the birds. So, I don't know. You know, there's something to be seen there, and Nayuta is definitely a Chekhov's gun that has a 100% chance of going off in this series. Thank you guys so much for leaving your comments on last week's video. Remember to leave your comments on this video down below as well, and maybe we'll talk about it at the beginning of next week's chapter review. And while you're down in the description checking out that voting link, maybe leaving a comment, remember to leave a big old like on this video and subscribe to my channel. Helps me out a lot, and I like making a bunch of Chainsaw Man related content. And also just a quick reminder, I'm streaming on my YouTube channel now. Tomorrow night we're going to be opening up 48 Chainsaw Man gacha capsules on stream. That's going to be at 8 PM EST Wednesday night. So remember to swing by and see what little Chainsaw Man figures we can get. Alrighty, with that out of the way, let's jump into the new chapter. So this week's chapter of Chainsaw Man started off right where last week's chapter ended. Denji being the most pure and wholesome character in the entire series. We did it, boys! Denji finally got to see penguins. But now we finally got to see the new and improved Eternity Devil back from hell for round 2. And he looks fucking dope this time around. He kind of looks like a fleshy version of the Ring Wraiths from Lord of the Rings. He's definitely kind of got that Witch King of Angmar vibe going on there. But in comes Yoshida, whose finesse with the tentacle would put even the most legendary hentai artists to shame. But weirdly enough, and I can't explain to you why, but this chapter has me a little less worried about Yoshida's role in the story. You know, I liked all of the Yoshida being the final boss theories, but I don't know, this week he just didn't feel that way. He just seemed like he's really on the right side of things right now. Actually, it's probably because Famine looks down at him like, fuck you. Then Yoru finally makes her reappearance in the manga and takes the aquarium spear to fuck up the Eternity Devil. Yoru even highlights how powerful the weapon is by saying, Jeez, Asa, you really feel that bad about ruining an aquarium? So why the fuck did she throw it away? Yoru even told Asa that the weapon doesn't even have to be a person, it just has to be something she feels bad about. There's no way in hell that she didn't feel worse about deleting an entire aquarium from existence than she did about turning her mom's uniform into a sword. Yoshida totally had that fight in the bag too. Someone needs to reel in Butterfingers here before she ruins everything. Alright, so Shiesty Isayumi sees all of this, he sees Yoru fighting, thinks it's Asa, and he's like, could it be? He said, Moshikashite, which is like, could it be? And if this were 3 weeks ago, I would have thought that Isayumi had some kind of crazy realization about Asa. But now that we have the confirmation that he's just as no bitches on the inside as he is on the outside, we could pretty much just ignore this line. Like, maybe he was like, could it be? She actually is powerful? I don't know. I don't want Isayumi to be anything more than he is. Dude just rubs me the wrong way. But after this fight kind of concludes, we see Famine on top of a building looking down at Yoshida. She's kind of glaring at him like, fuck you. And I'm pretty sure, if I was reading that correctly, Yoshida sees her as well. I'm not sure who should be more scared at this point. I want to see that showdown. Okay, so after this, like a true gentleman, Denji walks Asa home from their date. And Asa was like, that date was ass. And Denji was like, nah, it was bussin', cause I got to touch a penguin. Viz, hire me for your localization team. But then the most shocking thing in the entirety of Chainsaw Man Part 2 so far happened. And no, it's not the elephant in the room. Denji digs deep through the bowels of his limited critical thinking abilities and pulls out the finest riz in shonen manga history. Denji brings up that Asa said that he gets one request, and he could have said anything, but like a true Casanova, Denji says his one request is to take Asa on another date. This guy is smooth as hell. He says, I'm pretty experienced with dating, which is a lie, so I'll take you on the best date ever. And this actually fucking works. Asa swoons for the same guy that proclaimed he's Chainsaw Man while wearing a Chainsaw Man t-shirt. Dude pulled an Iron Maiden by wearing his own merch, ripped off homeless people in front of her, even told Asa to go to hell, and she still falls for it. He had us in the first half there. But then Yoru was like, alright, that's good enough, and she takes care of the situation from there. And we all know how that goes. Now, to the untrained eye, things might feel unequivocally fucked right now. And if you were listening to any of the bullshit I was screaming into the void last week, you might also come to that conclusion. But you forgot the most important detail. YouTubers never know what they're talking about. So I'm gonna give you a few examples of plot armor Denji has that could potentially pull him through this predicament. First of all, Denji still has Pochita in his heart. This isn't even his first rodeo losing his head. Denji and Yoru could probably form some symbiotic relationship of infinite spinal cord swords. Second of all, there's the subplot of Yuko's death and potentially fake Sawman. This could just be written off as maybe that plot point wasn't even all that important in the first place, but we gotta remember that Yuko was Asa's first one and only friend. Third, Nayuta exists. I don't think such an important character would be left high and dry like that. Maybe for like some kind of dramatic irony revenge arc. Maybe Nayuta knows that it was Asa even though it wasn't actually Asa, and she wants to get revenge. I don't know, maybe she could be a villain. But it seems like a stretch, doesn't it? But most importantly is the contract Denji made with power. He still needs to find the Blood Fiend in hell and befriend them. Now, maybe this plot point wasn't so important in the first place and it could have been purely metaphorical to make her death seem sadder, but I'd like to believe that that had some sort of deeper meaning for the future of the series. We don't really know what's gonna happen next week. Maybe the technique doesn't even work on hybrids, or maybe Denji's gonna spend a good chunk of the manga as a weapon only to make a heroic return later in the series. Or who knows? Maybe he's just dead. But we have the next 7 days to huff copium, and I'm excited to see what you guys have to say in the comments about all of this. That's about all for today's chapter review video. Tatsuki Fujimoto's kind of hitting a lick right now, so we're going to have another chapter and chapter review next week. So I look forward to seeing you guys there. But in the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys in my live stream tomorrow at 8 p.m. EST, baby. Alright, bye.
Wow, 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 wow,